right, let's wait for a few minutes so everyone can get settled. So guys, can you hear me? Okay, so it's just made an announcement. We gonna wait for more people to come in. We've got the team from Jambo Mambo here, so I'm sure that some of us have already heard about them. And we're gonna have the channels for AMA questions. In case anyone has any questions for the team, I've also included the white paper of the project, so you guys can have a look and find out for yourself about Jambo Mambo. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna invite the team to come over so we can start to have a discussion. So here we've got Jpeg Maxi. He's the founder of Jambo Mambo, and also James Finley, who's the head of game development, and he's also the CEO of Broken Circus Studios, a AAA gaming studios. And we also have Melty, who is the co-founder as well as the creative director for the project. And we're gonna wait for Melty. Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Hey, babe, can you hear me?
Yeah.
James, are you there, buddy?
Hi guys.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Okay. So, just a quick introduction. So, one of the things that PixelDao does is we want to do, researching on potential projects, getting to know projects, trying to get early round as in seed plus private sales investment, and not only doing that, but also try to add values to the projects in two ways. The first way is to bringing communities together, and the second thing is actually helping the projects with our sort of Web3 expertise, in terms of tokenomics and everything. So that's why we love to just bring you guys here to talk to our communities, because that's going to be a sort of community decisions to invest in Jambo members, and in the futures, our communities member are going to be people who want to be involved in helping the projects as well. So I guess that the first thing right now is I'm gonna, give the stage back to JPEG Maxi and Melty, so you guys can do a brief introduction about Jambo Mambo.
Thank
Sure.
you.
Yeah, Melty, do you want to ahead?
Yeah, I can do a cute one. So Jambo Mambo is a play and earn game and ecosystem. We have been building our sort of the world of Jambo Mambo in public since about August. We opened our channels back in September, and we have plans to create a very, very immersive experience for our players and our NFT holders in a world that is in a world that revolves around these cute, savage creatures called Jambos, and they basically will kill and do anything to impress their owners. So the first game mode that we're working on for the game alpha that is coming up in Q3 this year is a mini battle royale, which we've dubbed the mini Royale, Ru being the sound that the Jambos make. And it involves 4 Jambos in an arena, basically killing each other until there's one last Jumbo standing. With that game mode at the epicenter of our alpha, we're building an ecosystem of different features around the game that includes things like the Jambo Camp, which is the gamified staking platform, Jambo Space, which acts kind of like the player homes. We have a bunch of different items, including gears and toys, which are their weapons, coming out for the Jambos, and there will be a lot of bigger plans coming down the road after the alpha, like user-generated maps. There's breeding as well. There's the Jumbo lending program, which is called the Jumbo Daycare. And yeah, lots of different fun things coming down the pipeline. And we're really, really glad to be able to kind of like have you guys come on the journey with us as well.
So in Gen chat, Optima just posted a Jambo mentioning that he needs someday KASP. I agree. I agree. So JPEG, would you like to add on anything on the sort of like game design, or just like an overview about what you guys doing?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that for us since the beginning, the priority was to make the game fun, okay? Because when the game is fun, you get people who are playing without caring much about the games, right? Which is how traditional games work. In traditional games, people play because not because they want to make money, but because they want to have fun. And yeah, if you compare a game with, I mean, when you look at a poker table, for example, this is an example that I always give. When you look at a poker table, if everybody is a professional, and there's a rake, right? The house is taking rake. Everybody is making less and less money. So that's what's kind of happening now with games like Axie or other games that don't have an intrinsically fun gameplay. Basically, everybody's a pro, right? And when everybody's a pro, people make less and less money. So we're trying to avoid that. So I mean, the ways we're trying to fix this is first of all partnering up with a really really good game development studio like BCS. These guys know what they're doing. So we're not trying to create a studio from scratch. Basically, we first screened a bunch of different studios to see who we like the most, and BCS happen to be the guys. They have an amazing portfolio, and they understand crypto as well. So yeah, that's one of the parts we're doing for fixing it. Yeah, go ahead, Melody.
Sorry about that. No, I was just gonna say, in the landscape where Web3 gaming is emerging so strongly, we're gonna see maybe like next year or in a couple of years, so many different games with earning mechanics come out. So obviously, as all of us are gamers here, we're gonna flock towards the games that are the most fun, because it's no longer about us having to like find a game where we can earn. We want to find a game that is fun and we can earn, and that's why what JPEG Maxi is saying is really important, that we're building for a fun experience first. The user journey is yeah, definitely our priority when we come to think about the mechanics or the way that we design the ecosystem and the tokenomics. So yeah, we're really, really excited to be able to not only cover the crypto gaming audience, but also expand towards free to play and stuff as well.
Yeah, sorry, to cut you off.
Yeah, go
Just
ahead.
go.
It's okay. You can go ahead, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, like what I just want to add on to Melty just now because so I share so when I get back from the call with you guys, right? And I was thinking like should I get my friends involved as well? And I just like share the white paper with some of my BC and Jambo's friends, just like a bunch of deals and you know, not very surprisingly, but everyone just says that they love Jambos and like they wanted to just like pass so many deals that I share with them, but everyone says that I love Jambo. And I mean like I love Jambo as well. So when I ask them, like, can I have your opinions, please? Like what makes Jambo so special, for you guys? And I think the two most common points here is the art. Like there's something special about the art. It's not like people trying to copy each others, and you guys really have that very unique art styles coming in. And I guess that's all thanks to Melody because I believe you're the creative directors.
Thank
And
you.
they mentioned about the gameplay as well because during our conversations last time when we was talking JPEG, I'm just love how much care and attention to details you put into the emissions and game economy loop because personally I believe that the difference between a free-to-play games and a PTE game is actually struggling the economies in a way that you can get sustainable long term without like token inflation and all that. So from the perspective of a player, they might not have that sort of like domain expertise to look into things, but as a DAO/investor, when I look at all these details, I just really appreciate it. So I just want to share a little bit, with you guys and also with our community as well. That's what the reasons why we absolutely love Jambo Mambo.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much.
I love to hear that.
Since James is working on game development, James, would you like to share a little bit about the games, mate?
Yay.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just kind of like piggybacking off of the current discussion, for Broken Circle to come on board and engage in the development on this project has really felt like a dream come true in a lot of ways because of the reasons that you've just said. There's some really sound design that's already baked into it, and also the Jambos and the Jambo universe is just so lovable. It's so endearing, and when we evaluate projects to jump into them, one of the things that we do almost in a very democratic sense is we present the opportunity to the other developers, and we get their buy-in. And if everybody's excited, then we know that we're onto the beginnings of a great relationship. And everybody also fell in love with the Jambos for the same reasons that you cited. As far as our game design philosophies and mechanics that are in the process of being implemented and the priorities that are involved there, I think the white paper is a good way to dip your toe in and get a sense for what's happening with what's happening with the game itself. As far as the development studio and a couple of our priorities, fun first. There's just a ton of features that are going into this game. And so, when you ask me where to start, it's you have to start with the fun. So our emphasis right now is very much on getting that battle royale functionality in place, making that feel fun, being honorable to these Jambos in the universe that they live in, having everything still feel really cute, really endearing, but they're also beating each other to death with rubber chickens. So really, really doing our best to make sure that all comes forward. And we're also when speaking about the artwork itself, we need to make sure that we're continuing to honor just how great the visual representation already is. We've kind of inherited this fantastic backlog of all these two-dimensional assets, and one of our major challenges is bringing all of those to 3D, still having everything feel and look true to what the community and future community are expecting, but also giving them something new. This game is 3D, or maybe it kind of feels 2.5D. But we really want everyone to just be overjoyed with the evolution of the vision and the artistic direction that we're taking things in. So really exciting. It still feels early, and will probably feel early for a little bit of time to come. But those are our priorities, and we're over the moon about it.
So,
Awesome.
oh, sorry, Jay, but did I cut you off again?
No. I was nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm just like very excited talking to you guys and just like really want to jump in, asking a bunch of questions. So really apologize if I do cut you off, but just like piggybacks the conversations from James. I remember last time during our course, right, we talked about the idea of having. So you guys have like PVE plus PvPs. I remember asking that we're gonna allow people to actually, sort of like purchase a map so they can design it from the scratch and let people choose their map. And from my perspective, that's really an amazing PTE, sort of mechanic because when you allow this people to just like jump in and be creative and create contents that open so much potential. And the reasons why I said it because back in the day before I was a poker pro, I was actually a Dota pro, and we all know that Dota originally came from a custom map of Warcraft 3, right? So without that customized functions that Warcraft 3 came up with, there wouldn't be Dota. There wouldn't be Dota 2, and there wouldn't be League of Legends as well because they are all the same, mobile category. So I'm just like really want to just ask a little bit and dig deeper down into that, custom game sort of mechanism to really understand what you guys doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean the prominence of user-generated content is so huge right now, especially like because we're in like such a decentralized, I guess, space. The fact that games have things like user-generated maps is really beneficial for both the players and the game itself because I mean look at all the like you never know which big brain is playing in your game, right? They could develop something awesome like the Dota example that you gave. So our job is really to make sure that we pretty much have features and building mechanics where they can really kind of realize that potential while keeping it very like true and immersive to the Jambo Mambo world. So when it comes to the creation and the earning capabilities of maps, and it's not just going to be maps, so like they can do other stuff. But let's just talk maps right now. With maps, our aim is for Jumbo owners to be able to also acquire land so that they can build user-generated maps on there that is pretty much based on the existing Jumbo lands. But we plan to have things like adding or grinding for rewards type, so you can like work on making sure that your map can be more rewarding for the players who come in, and you can decorate it with vicious terrain, which is a term that we really like recently, where think of maps like Fall Guys or something where the map pretty much tries to kill you. So we want to really like add those mechanics in so the creators and the players can have a lot of fun interacting with the map. And yeah, we want to make it a social experience so you can invite your friends, you can make new friends when people come to your map, and both parties, both the landowner and the players, will be able to earn when the map is interacted with. So it's looking really fun. There's not a lot of really specific details that we can share right now about it, but yeah, that's basically the aim.
Yeah, sure. Because I think that, at this stage of, like gamings, we still, haven't, finished the seed round. So we really have, plenty of time to just like expand on
Almost,
other
yeah.
and yeah, do all the crazy things. So like I just love talking about ideas. So you know, if the details are not like 100% done yet, I don't think that's an issue, especially. So we just want to just like try to really get into your head and understand what
Yeah.
your core vision with Jambo Mambo really is.
Yeah. Basically anything that we kind of speak about or introduce to you guys, we are doing, and yeah, it's exactly why we have people like James Finley and his team on board, and a team from Navic as well are here to make sure that this vision of the team and the community is fully realized, and that yeah, the experience is the best that it can be.
And right now, it's this point that we don't really know, what we can do. But personally, and I understand that I'm gonna speak about this on behalf of the team, the core team, the sages, and other of our VCs slash and angel friends who want to get in as well. Is we
Mhm.
just love to be able to help in any capacities that we can to make Jambo Mambo a success, because we just like love the ideas of kill animals just slashing and hacking each other to death. It's just like so cool.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you.
So is there anything else in general you guys would like to share with Pixels before we move on to the AMA questions from our communities?
I think maybe James can share the stage that we're at right now, just really briefly, maybe, so everybody can get an idea. Because I mean, like my side and JPEG side, we've been working on everything surrounding the game development, while Broken Circles has been going all in there. So we obviously have the Jambo Camp staking platform coming out at the end of February. We have Wayfarers Club, which is our Discord game, coming out I think next week, and all of those games pretty much tie together in some way. So um, yeah, leading up to the game alpha that's coming out in quarter 3, I think James can give us a small mini progress report.
Yeah, sure thing. And I'll do my best to kind of present it in a format that's not too in the weeds, and too technical, but
Mm.
also is still descriptive for because I know that we have a mixed audience. So the currently we have a multi-prong approach towards achieving, I guess, not a minimum viable product, but just kind of an early prototype that represents visuals and some of that battle royale functionality. On the engineering side, we currently have the ability for 4 players to join into a room or a map. The map is currently, of course, just something gray box for players to jump into and engage. Basic controls where characters can navigate the environment, can attack one another, can kill one another, and a winner is selected from or is determined from that combat. We're in the process of implementing the infrastructure for handling gear. Gear is a huge part of this game. Weapons are a huge part of this game, clearly, and the complexity that's involved there is it's definitely there. Um, Equipping these items gives you all sorts of different chances for things to happen. It gives you additional activatable abilities while you're in play, and so the system for it needs to be pretty robust to support the massive roadmap that we have for oncoming gear to really make these Jambos feel very customizable and for players to really get their play style settled and in place. So gear is something that we're paying a lot of attention to. That is inclusive of weapons um, and consequently because we're working on things that augment stats and provide players with different agency through activatables. We're also working on consumables simultaneously because that's just a series of subsystems that derive from that. So there's the engineering stuff for all of the gearheads that might be in the room. On the artistic side, there's really kind of two things that are happening. One is that we're generating a lot of the 3D content driven first by a lot of the existing two-dimensional Jambo assets that the community is already rather familiar with. They're what compose your cool avatars for all the NFT holders that are out there. So we're really just bringing those to 3D, playing around with proportions. The game itself is largely told from a very three-quarters like perspective, very like that Diablo sort of style vantage point, and so making sure that the Jambos look good from all angles, but particularly look good from and read well from that angle is something that we're currently experimenting with. And then, in addition to that three-dimensional geometric work, we're also working on putting together the shaders. For anyone who's not familiar, a shader can be really just thought of as the code that's responsible for the graphics, for the rendering of these characters in the environment. We're working on building a library of shaders that just visually look awesome. That take that geometry that we're putting together and just make it look fantastic in 3D. So those are kind of like the three branches that we're currently working on instrumenting. And if there's any specific things you want me to highlight, Melty, just let me know and I'll dig in.
I think we're good. That was an amazing answer. I was like feeling so much bliss when you were saying that because I was like, yeah, I can just sit and listen to this.
I'm sure we all do. Like when the ice person's in the house, we all feel so comfortable. Like, yeah, he's gonna take care of that.
Yeah, I love
Got
that.
you.
This is the first time as well that James Finley has been in Voice AMA with us. I mean, we will have really regular updates soon with James, but this is his first time with us.
Yeah, I hope I'm not screwing it up. As a game developer, I'm sometimes antisocial.
I'm sure that we're all anti-socials in a way, but I just feel like the voice AMA is a great thing, to just bring people together because I love talking to people as well.
Yeah.
So James, just quick question since we have this in the AMA questions chat, right? So Sally Jack 3 have questions for you. How did you first heard of Jambo Mambo, and what were the factors that persuaded Broken Circus Studios to partner with Jambo?
Yeah, great question. So, in my experience, and the experiences certainly vary in this industry, but in my experience, the games industry is super relationship oriented, and my approach to finding work for the studio is rarely where I expect to just kind of jump in, meet a person right off the bat, close a deal, or what have you, right? So, the Melty and I were actually connected by a mutual friend of ours, James Chung, and I've been working with James Chung for I think like 4 or 5 years or so. And we've been working on a lot of interesting ideas, but it takes a lot for a game to get green lit. And he and I, we always like lament over this. We're great friends, but man, like with just finding a really good fit for a game to work on is something that we've like struggled with for 4 years or so. We're still at it, but he connected me with Melty, and we just hit it off. Melty's super awesome. It's hard to not be inspired by her and her vision. And so I review all sorts of pitches. I write all sorts of pitches, and it's easy to get numb to that because we live in a day and age where there's a lot of unique stuff that's out there, but there's also a lot of games that are just kind of the same, and everybody kind of trying to do a me too with their game. And so when you have a game that feels genuinely unique, that's trying to do something new and inventive, and also when you have a game that is clearly driven by love for community, it really stands out. And also, I mean, there's so much great content that already exists for the Jambo universe, and so when you're trying to pitch somebody something that's not tied to some strong IP, and it's just napkin notes and scribbles, if even that, it can be hard to make sure that you're in line with that vision, and that's just so important when you have distributed teams working together. Everybody just needs to be on the same page, and there has to be some sort of touchstone where by which everybody feels like they are all rowing in the same direction. So in reviewing the white paper and just the early conversations, I knew that I was sold, and when I try to present these pitches, these ideas internally to the rest of the team and steering committees at Broken Circle, I usually try to present them in a manner that is I don't know exactly how to put it, but I try to be very neutral about it. I really want the team to chime in and give me their honest feedback, and so I try to give them very little of my own insight. But it was really hard to do with Jambo. I just kind of said, "Hey, this is awesome. Let me know what you think." And so I maybe already tainted the waters a little bit, but everybody came back with the same feedback, that they loved it and that we needed to work on it. And away we went. So yeah, Sally Jack. Hopefully that answers your question with kind of what our internal process is like. In particular with Jambo, it's hard not to fall in love at first sight with it.
Oh.
Yay!
Look, I know one thing, right? Down the road, if PixelDao wants to make our own game, we're just gonna get in touch with Melty and James, and everything's gonna be sorted. Because we're very close here.
Not JPEG though.
That guy's trouble.
All right, I'm not gonna dig into that. I'm not gonna dig into that. Okay. So another very relevant questions from Zoom to just follow everything. So Zoom is asking, so how did the universe come into being as an idea? Like how did it start? And how did that evolve between the Jambo team and the studio?
The universe of Jambo Mambo, that's really interesting. So Jambo Mambo is a based. I'll just talk about the art real quick, but Jambo Mambo is based on a rescue puppy, and I mean, I guess I'll talk about how we even like came about it. Well, JPEG and I are experienced builders. Like we worked together since 2016 or 15. I'm not sure, JPEG, but something like we've been working together for a very, very long time, and we love to build experiences and journeys, just like anything that kind of evokes this immersive feeling about it. We worked on a really, really fun, great electronic music festival, and it was like sci-fi video game themed as well. That was really fun. And then from there, I think because I've been always passionate about creating like game universes that is like both cool and cute at the same time. I mean, if you guys know my taste, I really like cute things. And then I got a rescue puppy last year who I really love. He's like a little white dog, and I kind of was talking to JPEG, and we saw like the canvas that is the Web3 gaming space, and I decided to just create some art. It's not this art right now. It's a really old art. I can show you guys later, and kind of like show to him and some of our partners, and then that's kind of how the project came to be. In terms of the vibe of Jambo Mambo and how the world has kind of been shaped aesthetically, I think it's just from all of our tastes mixed together. So JPEG really like cyberpunk stuff. I really like cute stuff and like carnival looking things. And we kind of just meshed that together and made the voice of the character of Jumbo just sound really like benevolent in a really cute way. And from there, we presented kind of this vibe of Jambos back in September, and the community just ate it up. Like they loved the stupidity, the violence, like just the I don't know, like the humor of the project and of the character of Jumbo. And I think the community was a really, really huge driving force in building Jumbo up until the way it is now. Like when I say that we're building in public, we really do take the engagement of our community members into kind of the essence of the project as well. So the language, the way that we present certain things, the way that the items are designed, the events are designed and stuff like that, is really, really heavily affected by not only the team but the community as well. So yeah, we kind of just go with what all of us like, and I think it's done us really, really well because we get to see that everybody who's a stakeholder, and when I say stakeholder, I mean like people who hold interest in the project, not just the shareholders, like everyone, the community, the people on Twitter and Discord, our partners, the team, when we kind of get to mix and match what we all want to put into Jambo, the results are really, really fruitful, and we see a really kind of passionate, um, I guess, community, yeah, that's being built. A passionate audience, passionate team, everything. Yeah, so it's been going really well in that department.
So, like, I think that, we all feel that when we sort of like look at Jambos, right? But we really haven't found the right word in a sense. But from our conversations right now, I just feel like, so a lot of games, especially when they jump into something as profitable as, blockchain slash P2, people are gonna look from the angle. So what does the market like right now? And we just sort of gonna, follow the formula, so to speak. But in a way, it just make things a little bit generic. And from our conversations today, I just feel like this idea just, have like a very, personal sort of origin story of how you decided to, you know, get inspiration of your skill dogs and just build everything from the direction of the communities. Because from the way you share it, I can feel that this is definitely something really close and dear to your heart as well. And I'm sure that that's one of the reasons why people just keep talking about how awesome the Jambo Mambo community is. And I can see that you just put like not only a lot of brain power, but also a lot of like heart into what you're doing right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think another thing that kind of like adds this point also is that we've designed the jumbos to all be really lovable. So yes, there are rarities to the jumbo, but we don't put stats. I think you guys have noticed that we don't really put stats onto the jumbo. Some jumbos have hungry traits, which is a cute booster. They have different tribes and stuff like that, but we definitely don't want a situation where we have kind of flawed jumbos that are, I guess, with undesirable traits or stats that are just like floating at the bottom. I think I had a difficult time when I was entering Axie Infinity way back with the fact that the Axies are really, really cute. And I guess I get really attached to like cartoon pictures or something. But I felt sad that there were like Axies that people didn't want and they couldn't change anything about them, like they just had parts that people didn't want. And I really do not want that for Jumbos. I wanted Jumbos to be able to evolve, to the players to be able to progress their Jumbos or kind of just only like accessorize them with gears and items that have stats on them, but the jumbos themselves, like all of them, like are cute, and all of them, you know, deserve to be loved by their owner. So that's kind of like the sentiment that I have as a creative director behind the jumbos and like how they come off, I suppose, to the holders.
I see. I agree with that. It's just like the mindset of looking from the lenses of, celebrating the differences between, the Jambo instead of putting, like a random number. So, oh, so
Yeah.
this Jambo is rarer than the other Rambo, so it's gonna worth much more.
Yeah. I mean, the rarity is like an aesthetic thing and it's a personal preference thing, I think, for the holders. We definitely work really hard on the design of the rarities and stuff like that. But I mean, when you look at a jumbo, I mean, at least for me, I would like to be able to see that all of them look really cute. I specifically really like the clean looking ones. I know other people like the ones that are really chaotic with a lot of like outfits and stuff on. But With that said, like looking from a lineup of Jambo, if you ask anybody on the street to just look at like 10 Jambos, I think they would be able to point and see, okay, look, this one is rare, this one is not rare, but all of them are cute. So that's the saying that we have in the server, that it's like all Jambos are rue instead of all rare. Just all of them are really good, and we never released a kind of a rarity chart. I guess if you wanna look at rarity, you can have a look on Moon Rank or how rare it is and stuff like that. That's kind of like the personal preference.
I see. I think that's one of the things that, from a sort of like traditional, marketing perspective, it might or might not make sense. But because I'm a founder myself, so I really resonate with it, and I understand when you just pour your heart into some things, right? You just don't want to feel like, some of your work are left out because of they have like less desirable traits, and the others stand out as well. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
But just like one little comment, I think I changed my mind. Next time, if I do a game for PixelDao, I want to do it with JPEG because I love Cyberpunk.
Yeah. He's loaded up on the cyberpunk thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that good at the creative stuff, I guess, but because I've been a poker player for 10 years, I'm always thinking about. I mean, you have been a poker player yourself as well. So, as poker players, we tend to think about game theory a lot. About, okay, if I implement this thing, what can go wrong, and if all the decision trees. So I'm good at that part of the when it comes to a game. Yeah, I'm also. I'm taking care of everything that is like paperwork, incorporation, lawyers, talking to VCs, all that stuff. So it's kind of all the paperwork stuff is like the boring stuff, I guess. Which is great because Melty is awesome at community building and at making friends on spaces and all that stuff. I guess I'm not that good at it, so more or less all of us complement each other really well.
That's that's an amazing compliment. Like you are grounded so that Maltese can be creative and everything can work out, and James can take care of the rest.
Yeah, JPEG basically does all the big boy things so that James and I can just be like, let's make this and that. But yeah, the tokenomics and crypto economics and stuff though is all JPEG and Navic as well. So I think that definitely deserves a nod. The way that he has built the systems and the processes, I think we will like it. The players will like it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Navic, this is a very interesting question from Optima. So he's being very curious about, how have your talks with Navic helped you to refine your thinking on tokenomics and game things?
JPEG can definitely take this one. We know Optima is a huge jumbo whale, so go ahead.
Yeah, so we just had the second meeting with them. It was on Friday because we have been talking to them for over a month, but we kicked off the collaboration with them like 3 weeks ago, right? And we had our second conversation on Friday where they presented not a new white paper, but they made a presentation with all the things that we have to work on. I still have to absorb it, so because it was on Friday, and since then, we had to do other things. But basically now the economy that they are proposing, the diagram is like 3 times bigger. So they are beefing it up a lot. It makes a lot of sense. They're creating more things, like you guys said. They also added some control mechanisms that we can tweak if needed. If for example, if we see that there's a lot of inflation happening on the breeding of the jambos or the token production, they created some mechanisms like that we control from our side. Okay, so this is something that Axie is lacking, and that's they're having a lot of problems with this, but because they do everything, so we don't run into the same problems as Axie. This is going to be built in our system since the beginning. They're also adding a lot of in-game, let's say, in-game currencies that are not crypto, because there's a lot of criticism now that about coins like SLP. Despite a dual token system has a lot of benefits, there's just starting to be a lot of like critics about these systems. So they introduced a lot of currencies and shards and items to collect during the games that are not crypto. That's what they're supposed to do, is to enhance the fun, because a lot of this stuff, a lot of the things that they do is thinking less about everything crypto. It's thinking more about fun, okay? Because if the game is fun, we'll attract players that are not only crypto grinders, and that way that we have more chances of creating a sustainable ecosystem. So I mean, I still need to really wrap my head around all this stuff, but yeah, they introduce a lot more things. They introduce control mechanisms for making sure that there's not a lot of inflation in terms of playable characters or crypto, and they introduced a lot of off-chain items, shards, fragments of stuff that can be collected by the players during the game. Yeah.
I see. So a follow-up question, because this is really relevant as well, also from Optima. He's asking, can you paint us a picture of how you envision the different tiers of players, the whales, the normies, the free-to-play, coexisting and interacting? And I'm pretty sure that he's asking this on behalf of his interest, because now I know that Optima is a Jambo whale.
Sorry for outing you, Optima. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you have.
Oh, yeah, you wanna go ahead?
Oh, you can go ahead, Melty. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, maybe I'll go and then I might leave out something and then you can fill in the holes
Sure.
for me. So let's talk about the NFT holders first. In terms of the casual NFT holders that own maybe like 1 to 10 jumbos, I would say, I think that they'll have just a really fun experience holding. If you have an origin jumbo, that's even better for you, of course, with the benefits that come. You can breed jumbos with them. But if you just hold a normal jumbo, not an origin one, that they're not out yet, by the way, you can play. You can still get your gear airdrops for jumbos. You can do tribe related activities. So if you have all 4 tribes, you can do those tribe lock things. You can do different type of loadouts with your jumbos. I think for the casual one, it's pretty straightforward. But I'll talk about, I suppose, the whales. I think the whales go into the category of the second and third category of audiences that we build for crypto audiences. So that's the NFT owners, the best NFT owners, the biggest NFT owners who may not want to put that many hours into the game. They just want to hold them as investors and get some income. And the second group is the people who do want to put many hours into the game and also want to hold the NFTs. So we'll talk about them. I think some of the biggest perks for them comes with the Jumbo lending program, where they can rent their Jumbo out to the free-to-play players, and both of them can get a cut from the winnings of the games. So apart from that, the more Jumbos that you hold, the more playing capabilities you'll have as well, because you'll have more energy, you'll have a lot more range of gears and stuff to choose from. You'll have a lot more weapons to choose from. So it's really, really proportionate when it comes to the items and the perks that you receive to how many jumbos you own. And for the free-to-play players, they will be able to still use the in-game currency that we will have that are not associated to tokens. They can still craft things, craft gears that will come in the future as well. And of course, they can still play the games with the I guess capability to earn, but on definitely a much less a lesser scale than the NFT owners. So yeah, I think JPEG, you can definitely explain, extend on my answer.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a work in process right now, because for figuring these things out is why we brought Navic. So yeah, I'm pretty sure in a few weeks we can do another AMA, because right now one of the things in the pipeline is coming up with a white paper 2.0. which is going to be mostly done by Navic. So actually, this type of stuff, how to cater to whales, how to cater to grinders and all that stuff, this is something that they really talk about in all the constructions of games. And actually, when I in our first conversations, I told them that I was a little bit worried because in the scholarship programs of AXI, they create a lot of inflation because the players who come through the scholarship program, they generate a lot of new SLP, but they don't burn it enough because those guys, they don't really breathe and they don't do those things. So the price of tokens crash a lot. So I told them this concern, which is something that they wrote in the report. And they said that it's okay, we can still create a lending program, but the thing is, we are lucky that we're thinking about these things since the very beginning, so we can just plan for all those issues. So that's why they're introducing control mechanism for the breeding and for the generation of new tokens. So yeah, I would love to make another AMA once we have the white paper 2.0. Probably Navic, they would be happy to join as well, and we can talk about these things in a more scientific way. Because right now it's a little bit too much work in process.
Sure, let's leave it for Navix to carry all the answers. Like right now, let's focus on a little bit about my fun stuff, because Anon Lu is asking. The first question is with a big drop slash in-game Jambos have the same equipment as the Origin Jambo NFTs.
Sorry? I cut out just now. I didn't hear it. Sorry.
Okay, so the question is, will the big drop slash in-game Jambos have the same equipment as the Origin Jambo NFTs?
Okay, so first off, the Origin Jumbos are the only Jumbos that come with toys in their hands. When you do get to claim your playable versions of your Origin Jumbos, you will be claiming the Origin Jumbo itself, like the Jumbo itself, and the toys separately. So then it's not going to be like attached. So you can still switch the toys around. The gears are something that have not been released. They are being worked on right now, but all gears will be accessible, I think, at least in the alpha for now, to all the alpha testers, which is the Jumbo holders. I think in the future we may explore making different gears kind of like tier locked. But yeah, we're really just focusing on the alpha right now. So with that said, the toys that do come with the Origin Jumbo so will not be released again, and the gears that come in the gamified staking platform will only be available to claim there. So yeah, make sure you guys take part in the staking platform, and the ones that come in the airdrop as well will only be available in the airdrop, and so and so. So any gears that come beyond that are definitely different. And also, I think after the beta or sometime around there, we're really strongly exploring the option of gears only being craftable. So we will no longer have like output gears. You'll be able to grind and purchase materials to craft new gears. So yeah, it's just like a
think
small
that's
alpha.
I think that's a very good idea for crafting as well, because personally I talk to a lot of E2E games right now, and it seems like allowing people to craft versus just buying things straight is a pretty way
Yeah.
to burn tokens as well.
Yeah, it's definitely important to kind of negate the play to win factor as much as we can. This is still going to exist in every single game, but as much as we can by pretty much just making sure that it's the tokenized inputs that are getting bought up and not the outputs. So yeah, but for now we'll keep it simple, keep it straightforward, have the gears as gears, and yeah, we'll see what we can do later. But I just wanted you guys to know that we are keeping the negation of the play to win part in mind very seriously, and yeah.
So just one more questions, and I think that this is more of a JPEG questions. But so Lou really wants to learn more about the staking platform because it's one of the first thing on the roadmaps, right? And you know, so on the white papers, it mentions that the Jam tokens will be released on Q2. So, some people are just a little bit curious about what the staking reward's going to be.
Okay. So the staking platform is for the NFTs. Okay. So we, like in a first phase, we would not be staking tokens because the tokens will not be available for a while. So it's we're creating a platform for people to kind of play with NFTs. And initially, the platform will have two sections. One section is for leveling up the Jambos, and the other section is for sending them on quests. Okay, and in those quests, the higher the level your Jumbo is, the better stuff you can unlock, right? And for unlocking stuff, then you stake your Jambos. You leave them staked for a number of days. It depends on how hard the quest is. And then you will unlock something. Probably the rewards in this first phase of the staking platform will be gacha packs and treasure chests. And we cannot tell you what's in the treasure chests.
We can't.
You can DM.
You will
And
enjoy it though.
trying to stay compliant with the law. Yeah, so I mean it's because I mean it's there's a lot of NFTs now that have these staking mechanics where people stake the NFT and then they will create a token. Okay, and with the token they can normally what they do is something like they upgrade the NFT, and then with the upgraded NFT, they can unlock more tokens. So it's kind of a reflexive loop. And eventually, they have other stuff that you can claim, like you can claim like a house for your NFTs, and it's all these type of gimmicks. As we, in an initial phase, we will not have tokens, but we are taking measures so everybody who's holding now will get rewarded in the future. Because, for example, since December, we have been taking snapshots of who's holding what. So all that stuff is tracked. We'll take that into consideration in the future. And people will be winning things in the staking platform that will be valuable in the ecosystem, right? And the idea with the staking platform is to make it better and better every month, like more and more fun, probably introducing some PvP mechanics. Maybe people can fight with each other in the platform already. So the idea is to have something just to have fun while we develop the game. And in the future, that second platform is going to always be there. And there will be always things to do with the Origin Jambos. The idea is that people who have Origin Jambos now, they will always be able to do fun things in the staking platform and get rewards. The token is coming in Q2, yes. But the idea is to release the token very close to the game. So, because otherwise, what other games do is release the token, and because the game is not coming until in 1 year or half a year or whatever, they have to create these liquidity pools for the token, and it's fine. I mean, they're buying themselves time. But if you do this too much, too many tokens get dumped, right? I mean, you're giving away too many tokens for the amount of utilities that there are out there. It's a little bit, it's not the best. It's not ideal. Right? Ideally, the moment we release the token, there will be a bunch of utilities to use them in already, and kind of it balances. They balance each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So probably we will still have like some sort of liquidity incentives while we roll out all the definitive features, because a big thing is going to be the user-generated maps, right? Because for buying maps, for buying land, for building land, for creating add-ons and all that stuff, you will have to use the token, and you will have to pay a landowner tax. So that's going to be a huge one, but that's not going to come with alpha, right? That's going to come after that, because that's almost like a project by itself.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I have to cut you off right now to make a joke, but there's this thing called protocol on liquidity.
You will have to
It's-
train me on.
It's a very bad joke because we just bought our launch and we use POS models.
All right. Yeah, maybe you can explain more later. We can jump on our call and you and you tell me how this.
Because So
Yeah, go-
like, oh no, Optima saved the day. So I was just like asking. So I'm receiving DM from my friends right now, and a lot of people are asking like, where can we buy the Jambos? But Optima has already posted a Magic Eden link, so everyone can buy their favorite Jambos.
Yes.
nice.
You can buy them on Match Eden, of course, but we are really, really working closely with the guys from Fractal. That is Justin Khan's game marketplace for a lot of Web3 games. So with Fractal, we can have our sub collections in there, so you can actually head to Jambo Mambo, and later when we have items and gears and the Rue packs, which are the mystery boxes, they'll all be under Jambo Mambo's page. So it would just be like a game marketplace. You can like an auction house in the game, so you can see all the different categories. So all the toys and stuff will be there, command courses, everything. So
Yeah,
you can get it from there, from Magic Eden, or I think there's Alpha Art as well, right, Germán? Sorry,
Yeah.
JPEG.
Yeah, but Melty has been, I guess, working kind of closely or like giving a lot of feedback to Fractal team because they have been asking for it.
Yeah, we're
they're-
giving them ideas for features and stuff, and they're building them. So that's really amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, basically they want to be the perfect marketplace for NFT game assets. And actually they really listen a lot, and Melty has been giving them a lot of ideas. And we will do a drop with them just to reward our community. It will not have any cost. But and yeah, they're already adding features that we asked for them. So yeah, it's great. It's great. A great platform. So actually, me for buying my next Jambos, I'm going to be doing it in Fractal. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit I still just default to Magic Eden. I
Yeah, it's
default
kind
to
of-
like go to Magic Eden fast.
Just yeah. I just go there if I don't think much. I just go there. But
Yeah,
my Fractal, yeah.
yeah, I mean, when the items and stuff come out, I'll be on Fractal. It's definitely easier to navigate there. But yeah.
So, quick questions like, what is this Chill Chat Jambo, and how does it fit into the Jambo/So ecosystem?
So Chill Chat, if you guys don't know what that is yet, I'll just give a quick rundown. Chill Chat is a metaverse project. It's a pixel metaverse. They're basically building Discord for Web3, I suppose, and they say that they're the Club Penguin on steroids. That's the tagline that they use. But basically, they've been creating a lot of collaborative NFTs, origin of whatever the word is. So they've done origin of Jambo. That went on auction with a bunch of other origins this weekend, and basically our treasury acquired the origin of Jumbo, and we'll do a thing where we probably will give it to Ruhub. Ruhub is Jumbo Mambo's DAO, by the way, for verified holders. We'll probably give it to them because the origin. I'll just talk about Chill Chat for a little bit here. If you own an origin for Chill Chat, you can have people come and create like Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4, etc. And you kind of earn from that, and also the origins earn their token, which I think is called Chilling. So yeah, we basically just acquired that for our holders, so that we can kind of like earn together. Because I know that a lot of our community members are involved in Chill Chat as well, and they really pretty much one of our like sister projects, I suppose, because when we know each other in real life and stuff like that. So yeah, that's just what it is.
Okay, so now is a few very technical questions.
Is it for JPEG and James?
Yes, so Melty can take a breather now. It's,
Oh, yay!
so questions from one of our sages says a shifting perspective on Web3 gaming at the moment. What's your take on PTE gaming at this point? And where do you see it going in terms of tokenomics, graphics, governance models?
I don't really believe in P2E models. I think a game that where you play to anything, it's not going to be sustainable. It's kind of a paradox, right? I mean, games need to be fun. I mean, you play to have fun. But it makes sense to have crypto in them because what NFTs and the tokens allow is one, liquidity, and another one is aligning interests, right? So what an NFT can do is to encapsulate all the energy and effort that people put into the game into a piece that you can sell with a lot of liquidity. And we're talking about global liquidity again. I mean, it's of course JPEGs are illiquid, but you get what I'm saying, right? I mean, if you grind a game and you have a super nice character, weapons, all that stuff, chances are you cannot really. I mean, I don't want to talk much about traditional gaming because I'm not really a gamer, but I understand that in most games it's like real economy with real currencies and whatnot doesn't exist or it's forbidden. With NFT gaming, yes, you can have a lot of liquidity for the assets that you create through your effort. So when you get tired of playing, you sell them. So that's for the NFT. And the token is also good because it's like an in-game currency. You can buy valuable assets like lands, add-ons, legendary boxes, etc. And in the future, you can collect revenue from the treasury. This is something that Axie Infinity is doing already. I understand that right now you can stake and get a piece of the treasury. This is something that we want to do as well, mid-term. And long-term, governance is also on the pipeline. But I say long-term because so far, no, I mean, building a game obviously is super complex, and Axie has been talking about when we can, Axie and everyone, when we can go decentralized, we will do it. But the reality is that nobody knows when that's going to happen. So far, nobody went fully decentralized, but it's because it's so complex to produce these things. But that should be also on the pipeline, right? And by having the team and the community and the gamers being rewarded in the same currency, in the tokens, instead of in some game currency, and the developers getting rewarded in fiat, everybody is aligned, right? The thing is, what we're lacking so far in all the games is really making them fun. I mean, none of the crypto games is fun. Thetan Arena is looking pretty good. I mean, out of all of the games that I have seen, Thetan Arena is looking good. I have hopes about Orori because they have a huge team from traditional gaming industry, and they have tons of money. They have tons of money, so I think they can do something great. Other fun games coming up. Yeah, there's a lot, but big production, I would say Orori. Star Atlas as well.
You're loaded up on Missing Frontier, aren't you?
Yes, also Missing Frontier. I don't know, maybe you guys know it. It's on Ethereum, and it's looking amazing. Everything is looking like a straight up AAA, and they recently partnered up with Ubisoft. I mean, Ubisoft is the investor and their advisor. And actually, Ubisoft, this is 100% true because they retweeted it. I mean, they have been commenting on the post of Missing Frontier. And
Navik advises for Ubisoft as well.
Sorry?
Actually, also advises for Ubisoft.
Yeah, Navik has been advising for Ubisoft, for Bitcraft, for Facebook Games. They have been also advising.
Square Enix.
Yeah. So, that's my stance. I don't believe in P2E. I think it's a failed model. I believe in play and earn and play and own.
Yeah.
Okay?
Play and earn. Though, I feel like P2E walked so that P and E could run kind of vibe. I mean, what we are trying to do here at least is fill in the holes to make the game like as close to perfect as possible by building upon the blueprints of those blockchain gaming pioneers, right? So I mean, props to them, and I just hope that everybody kind of like evolves in the space as fast as possible.
Yeah.
I agree. Like in a way, it's right. Like Axie Infinities and the P2E games are like the boomer parents who work hard so the Gen Z kids can have all the fun. And that's play to earn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
mean,
first-
it's
Sorry.
in poker. There's people who play to earn, but nobody calls poker a play to earn board game, right? People play for fun. And eventually there's people who take it really seriously and they really learn it and they become pros. And they make money, but that's okay. When you're playing online, maybe that's 80% of people on a table, but when you're playing live, that's 20% of people on a table, and that's why the games work. It's an open system. Open system means there's new money coming in, and if it's a closed system, it's people shuffling money with each other, right? So we need to come up with a model that yes, play to earn is possible, because in poker play to earn is possible because there's pros, but it's not the main thing, right? In the game is really fun. Yeah, that's
I
what we are.
I always joke to people, right? The reasons why I want to do pixels and P2E, because like back in my days when I was back in university, there was no crypto, so my P2E was actually poker.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. And poker is a really fun game. I mean, there's so many ways to win at poker. I mean, you win at poker when you sit at the table to socialize, to brag about the super expensive watch you have, to just do crazy plays and just think that you're the best player in the world. I mean, there's so many ways to win. Not only you can go and play poker and live to your just live with zero money, feeling like a winner because you did a super amazing play, because you made friends, whatever. It depends on what your preferences, right? But of course, there's people who play to earn money. Yeah.
Well, I'm guilty. I was a grinder. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was a grinder.
Oh yeah, me too. I was playing 19 tables, 400 no limit to 5,000 no limit, like 10 hours a day, and so just click, and just 100%.
So like back in the days, right? Like a little bit personal, but back in the day, I was playing six max, like 1,000 an hour, and I just like absolutely suck at it. As soon as someone started making fun of me, I was gonna like, hey, bro, do you want to play heads up? Because that's actually my style.
You're one of those guys, huh?
For rolls, yeah, just for rolls.
Got it.
But in terms of like sort of like adoption, there's this very technical questions about our community's member Ravel, who's a dev as well. So he mentions that in the deck, you guys mentioned about Jambo Mambos to be optimized for mobiles, and he's just wondering whether the mobile support's gonna be planned right from the alpha, or is it gonna come on a later date?
Yeah, I can jump in and take this.
Yay.
Yeah, so
James.
hey. Yeah, that sounded like a gameplay technical question, so I got this. Yeah, so we are currently in the process of building it for I guess simultaneously both. Our initial alpha testing will likely be PC based, just because it's easier to iterate, easier to test. But all of the design considerations, all of the technologies that are being utilized, is all strictly to allow for multiple platforms, and possibly even cross-platform play. So super excited about that. Just means that more people will get to play it however they want to.
And another follow-up question. So I got to break this down because there's so many part of it.
Oh,
I don't know
gosh.
the questions Ravel is asking, but it seems like they are very important. So I'm just gonna, oblige. So the
Go.
next question is, just wondering which technologies will the game be built upon?
I got this. Yeah, so we're building it in Unity. It's a major strength of the studio. I was with Unity for years before and during my tenure at Broken Circle. Just a fantastic set of technologies, a super great community. And one of the great hallmarks of games done in Unity is their ability to be applied to or to be deployed to multiple platforms with ease and elegance. Also, given the the art style and the direction, it all just kind of made sense to use that as a technology. The any other technologies that are being utilized or will be utilized? A lot of that I think is yet to be defined. If we want to use some additional middleware or some more like high profile applications to aid us in the development and deployment of this, but I think that Unity is probably at this time the only one worth naming.
So, okay, Unities. Last questions. Last part of this big questions, but I think this is very interesting, and that's from the game design perspective as well. So, with the general state of multiple games, right, whether it's just the MMORPGs, mobiles, FPS, or deck building, there's an impression that they live on and die on the constant rebalancings because there's always a meta. And once people discover that meta games, people are just gonna, start min-maxing and focus on that meta instead. So just wondering from the perspective of Jambo's Mambo, in particular, and Web3 games in general, where assets possibly cost real money. So there's gonna be even a bigger, incentive, so to speak, to just stick to one meter. So there's this always a very delicate balance, right? Like everyone wants to win in game because we are
Yeah.
gamers, we are super competitive. But when it comes to gaming plus income as well, there's going to be even more of an emphasis to figure out, the right way to play things. And since we want to do play and earn here, but the metas plus the uh, real money aspects is always going to be a problem. So how do we sort of like strike this balance? And I'm sure that this is not like a direct questions at Jambo. It's more of a general questions that satisfy our own curiosities and just want to hear your thoughts as builders and game makers. So don't be stressed out, but it's a very interesting intellectual discussion, and I just love to hear your thoughts on this.
I think I'll give a really brief one on my end. I think the first one would be this is why I think it's really important for all games, not just Web3 games, to always be evolving and building upon themselves and making sure that they keep it interesting for the end game players in particular. End game players can't just be grinding dailies every single day. We really need to be kind of implementing more changes and more kind of interesting ways for the end game players to still progress and still improve their own profiles, right? And with that said, though, when it comes to I guess just Jambo Mambo, that's why I feel like it's kind of important for us to not overlook things like skill and RNG and stuff like that. We're not going to be having RNG for the hits, but there are different fun aspects like the do mechanics and stuff like that that makes it so that we still keep it exciting and not just okay, once you've min-maxed everything, you've grinded to the end, and then your performance is going to be very expectable. It's very easily to predict, and from here, I think JPEG and James can take it from here.
Yeah, I think that from a development perspective, something that I always try to keep in mind is having enough elements that are modifiable to allow for balance. If you really sort of design yourself into a corner and everything is built off of fixed values, and behind the scenes you don't have enough knobs and to turn and levers to pull, you end up with huge limitations as to what it is that you can change in order to invoke balance. And to piggyback off of what Melty was just saying, it is absolutely important that you have this revolving meta, that you have something that is constantly attracting new players. It's keeping your elder players and your really committed players engaged. You have to have a game that speaks to a lot of people simultaneously. But the inherent danger of introducing new content and doing so at a frequent basis, to where people feel confident that they can have that immediate and ongoing relationship with your game, means that you do need to always have an eye for balance. A big part of that, I think, is just making sure that you've designed enough elements that allow for you to make those in meta changes. And another side of it, and I think this is kind of shocking, the number of games that are developed that aren't actually like actively played by the people who build them is like kind of staggeringly high. I think that's kind of crazy to me. But if you're not an active player and contributor in the game that you're in any live operations game that you've been a part of, if you're not in it, then you're just kind of reading what other people say about your game and trying to make decisions based off of those opinions. And of course, those opinions are important, but it all should kind of be rooted in the fact that you are a fan of your own game and have this intuition as to where to steer things.
I see it. I think that's like some things that really make sense because, like from just sharing a little bit of, opinions, right? Because I had this issues with my Web2 startup as well, in the sense that when I first started out, I built something, for myself because I figured out if I have a problems and I want to solve these problems, but so many other people is gonna need it as well. But I mean, like along the way, right? You just sort of like don't have that issues anymore. So you sort of like starting to lose touch with your community in the sense that you don't need it. So it's really hard for you to just understand your target audience because you are no longer your target audience. So I'm very excited about the fact that Melty is really into the games, and I'm sure that when the team is passionate about the games and you guys play it, there's gonna be tons of feedback and information you can get on how to improve the game as well.
Thank you. I'm just having a look through the AMA questions channel. There are really interesting questions in here.
I think already all the questions that the community has from now. Do you guys have any questions for the Jambo team?
I think there's one on maybe JPEG wants to touch on the one about high prices for digital property by Pat Moss. I don't know.
So it says high prices for digital property
Yes,
apparently
that's the one.
the development of a sustainable economy. Source Larsius Prime on Twitter. Have you heard about this thesis, and do you have something thought out to counter this and thus spawn a successful economy in your metaverse? Yeah, this is a great question. Actually, Larsius Prime is part of Navic. He did the construction of Axie Infinity with Navic. So he has that guy is super vocal. He criticizes blockchain games a lot because to his taste, none of them have been done really well yet. But it's awesome because Navic worked with Larsius Prime, so that's great. I have read a lot on this stuff. Actually, he proposes Georgism for digital land. So Larsius Prime proposes to introduce a land value tax. So that creates a dynamic of use it or lose it, right? Because if people can just buy a ton of land and just hoard it, what you end up is with a lot of whales, but this doesn't really incentivize content creators, right? And the ecosystem thrives if there's a lot of content creators creating cool stuff, not if there's a lot of whales hoarding, right? So this is something that, I have read a lot on this. I have read everything that Larsius Prime has written on this. He has a blog, I think it's called Game Developer, and he has a whole article on this. Actually, now Navic just finished, they just published the construction of Sandbox, and they mentioned this a lot of these problems. So yeah, for us, everything that is for creating maps, we also have all these problems in mind. I mean, we have read everything on this stuff. The map creation is not something that we will whip up in 2 days because, of course, like I said, it's like another project by itself with its own set of economic problems and things to solve. And yeah, we have heard about this. We are working with a team that works with Lazarus Prime. So yeah, this is something that we will have in mind. And probably there will be a land value tax, among other things. Yeah.
Unless James, you can whip up the map building feature in 2 days.
I think James can do it. I trust James. James can do it.
I mean, bottom line is, yeah, digital land needs a use it or lose it approach. Yeah.
Right. Just reading through all the questions right now. I think we've run out of questions for now. So, Jambo teams, would you like to share anything else? So Benedict has one last question, I believe. Have you guys looked at ES? Ember Sword, yeah.
I think Ember Sword, I read something about Ember Sword, but I have read about so many games lately that I think they had a problem with inflation. No, with deflation, I think it was. So the gold was like nobody was spending gold for some reason. Am I right? Or
They haven't launched their token yet, as far as I'm concerned. I
It's a
bought land.
different one, I feel. Yeah.
So Ember Sword was, I believe the roadmap was launching the pre-alphas on Q1 this year, and Ember Sword is really, taking their time with development. I might have over-invested in Ember Sword. I just bought like a CP.
yes, I saw it. I tried to buy their land, but I didn't win it. Yeah, no. I was confusing with another. Yeah. Got it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't read much about the latest developments about Ember's World, but I will make a note. And
Yeah,
we
let's have a look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I follow them, and I just followed because of the art, so I haven't really had a good look at it. We can have a look at it for sure. I think they have these like, if I'm not mistaken, they have this like rocks and trees as monsters or something, and that's why I like clicked, and I just thought it was really cute. They had like nature-looking monsters, but anyway, yeah.
I will definitely read on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the overarching themes of Ember Sword is people actually can buy land, and you can like design city. So like instead of MMORPG games, people gonna visit cities. They're gonna get to the inn. They're gonna get to the blacksmith, purchase the equipment. But Ember Sword allows people to just sort of like purchase land and build the land for themselves to have a passive income in the sense of economies. I'm not 100% sure about that, but when I bought the lands, that's what I thought. So I bought. I might have checked back with them. I haven't checked back in Ember Sword for ages.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, me same. I mean, I've heard a little bit about them. I tried to get the land, but then I didn't look much. Definitely will study.
Okay. Well, thank you for bringing our attention to it. Looks interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so we know that we've been here for like an hour and a half, so I think it's about time that we wrap up the AMA so the team can get a bit of rest as well. But before we go, any last things you guys want to, share with the communities?
I think I want to share that.
You guys
Yeah,
gonna
look out for white paper 2.0 because there's a lot of developments on the mechanics and the way that the economy works that I think are gonna be really fruitful with the help of Broken Circles and Navic here heavily with us as well. So yeah, just don't think that anything in the first white paper is permanent. It's always going to evolve and stuff like that. But yeah, the essence is out there. I think you guys kind of really have been understanding and embracing Jambo Mambo. So thank you so much for your support and your questions. And yeah, really looking forward to going on the journey to Jamboland. And yeah, pop by our server sometime as well. And I'm playing our events. The Jumbos have a lot of fun there. So yeah.
Yeah, sure. We have a very close look in Jambos, and don't worry about not having all the informations at the beginning as well, because we all know that in the blockchain space we have to be very agile and adapt
Yeah.
ourselves to situations. There are
Yeah.
more than one circumstances when we screw up, and we just tell our members that we're gonna make up for it in the futures. And when people ask me like, so how do you plan to make up for it? I just straight up told people that I don't really know, but I make up for it. So I understand, the thing JPEG mentioned just now about, trying to, have something special for people down the road. It just like nature of the space. So we just love Jambo because we know that you guys put, a lot of effort and passion, a lot of heart in the projects as well. And by supporting the projects at this stage is mostly about supporting the founders and your visions. And we obviously think that you guys are great. So really appreciate you guys for taking the time coming here, chit chatting with us. And let's let the team rest for now, and we can always get on the conversations on more details later. But for now, thanks, Melty, for being very passionate and sharing about the visions of Jambo Mambo. JPEG, thank you for doing the heavy lifting and helping us with like all the details that we don't want to deal with. And James, you've been a blessing, very technical, very structured, and having you in the teams, I'm sure that lets everyone have 100% confident about the game development side as well. Really look forward to the conversations with Navik in the pictures next time as well.
Awesome. Yeah, we will talk again for sure.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, guys. Thank you so
Yeah,
much
thanks
for inviting.
everybody.
See you guys.
Thanks for
All right.
coming.
Talk soon.
Let's wrap it up. Sorry.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.
See you.